Okay, great. I want to introduce someone from Laughing Liberally who is going to hopefully get you laughing very shortly. Ladies and gentlemen, Katie Halper.
Hi, everyone. Hi.
Hi.
I guess I want to just jump right into it. And first I have to fix the mics. And talk about anatomy of deceit. Because quite frankly, the only deceit I saw during Flamegate was the deceitful way that people tried to ruin the reputations of two great men. And I'm talking about Scooter Libby and Robert Novak. Contrary to what Jon Stewart says, but Robert Novak is not actually a douchebag of liberty. He's an intrepid journalist who was acting as a whistleblower and exposing yet another case of nepotism and corruption. Because honestly, people, if I have to hear another story about a Washington, D.C. insider using his connections to get to go on an unpaid fact-finding mission to an impoverished, famine-stricken, semi-arid West African country, I'm going to scream. Let me put this down. This is a prop for later. That was a nice, generous laugh. No, honestly, I really think this is important to establish. Robert Novak is not a son of darkness. He's actually a son of Jesus. I'm not making this up. I don't know if you know this, but Bob Novak converted. Okay, you guys know this. You know how a lot of Jewish neocons kind of leave their ideology at the door, but he actually got rid of his Jewish religion. And I feel bad. I feel like as a Jew, I should tell him that he's not passing. But he's so cute about it, and he tries so hard. I saw this special. The reason I know this is because I saw a special on CNN. It was really incestuous, because this is when he was still doing Crossfire. And there was a special with Judy Woodruff. And they showed him a shot of him on Crossfire, and it was so cute. It was Ash Wednesday, and he had that schmutz on his forehead. And he looked like a Jew who was being a Christian for Halloween. It was so cute. And then even when he's walking in his church in Washington, D.C., he has this schlubby Jewish waddle that's just precious. But really, he actually, in the true Augustinian confessional tradition, Bob Novak during this interview says, people laugh when they hear I converted because they know I'm flawed, but they don't realize how bad I was before I became a Christian. Which I think is true, because I think we can all thank God that Bob Novak took the time to ask himself, what would Jesus do before he spread the gospel about Valerie Plame? And I'm sure that the pre-Christian Bob Novak would have, I don't know, sent out a mass email to terrorist lists listing Valerie Plame's physical description, address, and food allergies. So, thank God for small favors. Another person who's really been smeared by the liberal, gay, Jewish, vegan media is, of course, Scooter Libby. And I'm praying and hoping that he'll be pardoned. I'm sure you guys are too. And I think, you look at your history, which we must do, of course, it looks like he will be pardoned, because Libby is just as patriotic, if not more of a patriot, than Richard Nixon was. And I think we can all agree that Bush is just as sharp, if not sharper, than Gerald Ford was. So things are indeed looking good. I have to admit, though, for purely selfish reasons, I would kind of like Libby to go to jail. Because I don't know about you guys, but I'm a huge fan of his writing and The Apprentice. And I think he's been suffering from a dry spell, and I think that's because he's been so busy. And I kind of hope that if he goes to jail, he'll have the time and the R&R that he needs to churn out another brilliant novel. Maybe something like the autobiography of Scooter L. But just in case you haven't read The Apprentice, I wanted to share with you something that's always stuck with me. Okay. He, by the way, is still Jewish and is a member of his Rodolph Shalom synagogue, but it's in the town of Church Falls, which is a little questionable. Church Falls, Virginia. Falls Church. Thank you. I was making sure you're on your toes, and you were. Thanks. Good job. Okay. At age 10, the madam put the child in a cage with a bear, trained to couple with young girls, so the girls would be frigid and not fall in love with their patrons. This, by the way, is going to go into my compilation of works called Right-Wing Renaissance, which will also include passages from Bill O'Reilly's Those Who Trespass novel and or passages from his sex tape transcripts, as well as the pulp lesbian erotica of Lynn Chaney that we see in Sisters. But seriously, if I could just break character for a second and take off my conservative, pseudo-conservative jacket. It's so great to be here, and really the reason I'm here is because I got to go to YearlyKos last year, and that's where I was actually able to meet Joseph Wilson. We really hit it off, but because of logistical and geographical issues and a restraining order, I probably can't see Joe unless there's another YearlyKos. And it's really important to me. And I don't know about what he found or didn't find in Africa, but I know what I found at YearlyKos, and that was a silver-haired fox with a set of baby blues that could melt the secret identity off of any covert operative. Thanks.